A Piece of Me with HIV movie is the first movie written and executively produced by me. It is based on my true life experiences as a woman living with HIV subject matter expert, author, and cross-movement activist based in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also the founder of iknowAwareness, where I provide direct and collaborative HIV education and awareness, and I also maintain a presence in HIV advocacy efforts and leverage social media to bring information to community stakeholders. A Piece of Me with HIV movie unveils experiences of inappropriate touching by an adult, intimate partner controlling behavior, essential friendship, the importance of knowing one's own HIV status, returning to normalcy, and advocating to improve the lives of vulnerable populations. Whether you're watching this presentation alone or with a group, please take time to reflect, take notes, and discuss some ways that we can help improve the quality of life for all. In scene 1, my home was no longer a safe haven for me.
Good Saturday. Get this caught up for you.
Hello.
Hello, may I speak with Mrs. Horn?
This is Miss Horn.
Hello, Mrs. Horn. I'm Mrs. Gray from Child Protective Services. Are you the custodial guardian and aunt of Shyronn Jones?
Yes, I am.
What's your relationship to Mr. Sheffield Blake?
He's my fiance. What is this in reference to?
We're investigating an open case that states that Mr. Blake had inappropriately touched Shyronn.
Can you provide me with the details of this incident?
Yes, the report states Mr. Blake used his hand to slap Shyronn on her buttocks. We'll be sending you a letter explaining more details and the agency's next steps. Please contact me once you receive our letter. Thank you.
Who's that?
It's Child Protective Services.
Why are they calling?
They're saying that you touched Shyronn inappropriately.
In my narration, I said, I refuse to live in a violent environment. What are some reasons why someone may continue living in a violent environment? What can help someone leave a violent environment? What can people who are concerned about a child's welfare do instead of calling the police or Child Protective Services? What could Child Protective Services have done to reduce putting me in danger? Welcome back. I hope you had a very enriched conversation and that you took time to reflect on the questions and actions of intervention, prevention, and support efforts are on the way. I would love to hear the solutions you have discussed. Please share in iknowAwareness Facebook group. In scene 2, I wanted my boyfriend to take our relationship and health more seriously. What unique power dynamics do you notice in our actions? How can someone take charge of their sexual health when a partner doesn't want to use a condom? In scene 3, I'm at a restaurant with my best friend, talking about my plans to address important matters with my boyfriend.
Hey, best friend.
Hey, best friend.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Same OBS.
So, have you talked to Mr. Non-Monogamy about the time I saw his trifling ass coming out of my neighbor's house?
No. But I meet with him this Friday. So I'll talk about it then, because I have some other serious matters to talk to him about.
Good.
You know, what happens in the dark will come to light.
And you know, no matter what, I'll be there for you.
What are some pros of talking with a best friend about issues weighing on your mind? In scene 4, I'm on a date with my boyfriend. I use that time to talk to my boyfriend about important matters.
I also think it's time that we take our health and our relationship a little more serious. I went to the doctor the other day for what I suspected to be a yeast infection, but it turned out to be chlamydia and gonorrhea. And the doctor suggested I take an HIV test. And I think we should go together.
I don't really care for stuff like that. You can go without me.
And I'm pregnant. What should we do?
I mean, you should get an abortion.
So you just gonna act like a coward like that and walk out?
Yo, you
You just gonna walk out like that?
You tripping.
You're tripping.
Chill out, yo. Come here.
How important would your partner's opinion be when deciding whether or not to have an abortion? How would you respond if your partner refused to get tested for HIV with you? In scene 5, I get tested for HIV. Have you ever been tested for HIV? If yes, what motivated you to get tested?
I'll start the timer. I already have it timed for 20 minutes, okay? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is put it in the tester like this. And we're just gonna let it sit there, okay? If you need someone to talk to, here's a 24-hour hotline. Okay?
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
What can healthcare providers do to make testing less stressful? Home tests are now available. What are some pros and cons of taking a home test instead of being tested at a doctor's office, on a mobile testing van, or somewhere else? In scene 6, I bounce back to the people, places, things, and music I love.
So we gon' sing and shout and tell the whole world how it feels inside. It hurts. So we gon' sing and shout and tell the whole world how it feels expresses. Where's your heart? What is the essence of having a heart? I mean, it don't even make sense. Ignoring the kids growing up with this fake trend. They look at the star, the one that get litty, and they end up with a bunch of felonies. This is Nicki Minaj, and they wanna be Nicki, and they wanna do whatever ill bitch. Hold that still, little kids got still. I don't know what they be thinking when they...
When managing trauma, what coping mechanisms do you use to help alleviate stress? Are these healthy coping mechanisms? If not, what alternatives might you use? In scene 7, I talk with my best friend again about my family, health, and advocacy plans.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
at the pool with my son and reading over this brochure about Positive Women's Network USA and gathering my thoughts about what I need and want to do.
That's exactly what I was calling you about.
I know. As far as my medical, I'll be seeing the doctors every 3 months and checking in with the mental health counselor monthly. I also want to advocate more in meaningful ways. I'm ready.
So call me later and keep me updated on everything.
All right. Bye.
How can balancing family, friendship, health, and advocacy be therapeutic? In scene 8, I'm serving in a leadership role on an advisory committee. Driven by my own need for supportive services as an economically disadvantaged woman living with HIV. Though I practice different forms of advocacy, I prefer directly approaching policymakers, stakeholders, and communities greatly impacted by HIV. My membership at the Albany Damien Center Drop-In Center provided me with a supportive atmosphere, and my business degree internship at the New York State Assembly had built my relationships with legislators who had influence over my life. To serve communities, I founded iknowAwareness to uniquely and innovatively deliver meaningful dialogue about HIV and its different intersections, but actions that will impact HIV intervention, prevention, and support efforts. To gain a greater extent of civic engagement, I joined Positive Women's Network USA. PWN USA has given me the skills and tools I need to advocate effectively for policies and changes that will improve my life and communities. Since joining PWN USA, I soared into leadership opportunities within and outside of PWN. PWN's mission, vision, and membership body inspires, informs, and mobilizes me to advocate for changes that improve and uphold my rights. Their power ushered me into diverse types of advocacy work. One of the many meaningful experiences made by PWN was serving as a panelist at the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, CSW 62. As my involvement continues to transcend and evolve, I seek meaningful involvement in every level of decision-making, particularly serving on advisory committees and work groups of government, state, and local organizations. What does meaningful involvement for people living with HIV mean to you, and why is it important? Thank you, cast, crew, and attendees. Be sure to educate about HIV with care, not fear, and watch A Piece of Me with HIV movie on Amazon Prime Video and Vimeo. Be sure to connect with me by visiting my website, iknowAwareness.com. Thank you for watching this presentation. This presentation was created to identify and reflect ways that we can improve the quality of life for us all.